Do you like mysteries? To wander through the enigmatic mist of the inexplicable? Great. I'm Merc, and here you'll find what you're looking for. Welcome to my domains. The truth dissolves into the mist.
In the vast deserts of the American Southwest, where silence stretches farther than the horizon, there are stories that refuse to remain in the past, stories that were once whispered around fires, carried by fear and tradition, now resurfacing through digital noise, satellite footage, and mechanical eyes in the sky. They speak of skinwalkers, entities rooted in Navajo legend, beings capable of wearing the skin of animals, mimicking voices, and walking between human and something else entirely. For centuries, these stories were bound to remote lands, mesas, and reservation borders. They belonged to a time before cameras, before flight, before technology could watch from above. But something unsettling has emerged in recent years. Reports no longer come only from hikers or isolated communities. They come from drone pilots, surveillance operators, and civilians reviewing footage they never expected to see. This is where the ancient collides with the modern. Skinwalkers, according to Navajo belief, are witches who abandoned humanity through forbidden rituals, gaining the ability to shapeshift and manipulate perception. They do not simply transform physically. They deceive, confuse, and observe. Traditionally, speaking their name is considered dangerous. Even today, many refuse to discuss them openly. Yet despite this silence, sightings have increased, not through testimony, but through recordings. Drones now patrol borders, deserts, forests, and private land. They record heat signatures, movement patterns, and behavior invisible to the naked eye. And in this data, anomalies have appeared. Shapes moving unnaturally fast across uneven terrain, figures shifting posture mid-run, heat signatures that abruptly vanish, objects that appear animal, then stand upright, then disappear entirely. You might ask yourself, could this simply be malfunction, wildlife, or human interference? That question is reasonable, but it becomes harder to answer when patterns repeat across different locations, different devices, and different operators who had no connection to one another. In several documented cases, drone operators described losing signal moments after tracking a fast-moving figure. Others reported audio interference, distorted sounds resembling speech, cries, or mimicry captured briefly before feeds went silent. And when control was restored, whatever was there was gone. One particular account from a licensed drone pilot near the Four Corners region describes tracking what initially appeared to be a coyote. The animal moved erratically, then suddenly accelerated beyond known animal speeds. When the drone adjusted altitude, the shape below seemed to stretch, limbs elongating unnaturally. Seconds later, the drone experienced total failure. The footage recovered ended mid-motion. There are also infrared recordings showing entities whose heat profile does not match any known animal or human. Too cold in some regions, too hot in others. These inconsistencies challenge conventional explanations. They suggest either technology error on an unprecedented scale, or something that does not obey biological norms. And here lies the deeper discomfort. Skinwalkers were said to avoid being seen directly. They watched from a distance, stalked quietly, and retreated when confronted. Drones remove distance. They see without fear. They do not blink. They do not feel dread. And yet, something appears to respond to them. Some operators report that objects on the ground seem aware of being watched. Space, they stop moving when tracked. They look up. In rare cases, they move toward the drone, as if challenging the observer. That reaction alone raises questions. Animals flee, humans hide. But these entities seem to acknowledge surveillance. Is it possible that skinwalkers, if they exist, are adapting? The modern world has stripped darkness from many places, but not all. Remote lands still exist where signal is weak, response times are slow, and intervention is unlikely. These are the same environments where legends were born. Technology has entered these spaces without understanding what it might provoke. There is also the matter of imitation. Skinwalkers are known for mimicking voices, cries for help, familiar sounds meant to lure victims. In recent drone footage, operators have captured distorted audio bleeding into open channels, whispers layered beneath static, sounds that resemble speech but lack structure. Audio engineers who reviewed these clips found no clear source, no radio overlap, no mechanical explanation. If these sounds are not interference, then what are they? As more footage circulates online, often dismissed as hoaxes or glitches, a pattern quietly forms. Not proof, but repetition. Similar shapes, similar movements, similar failures, and always in places where legends warned people not to linger. This brings us to a question you must confront yourself. Are drones revealing something that was always there, or are they provoking a response from something that does not want to be seen? Because if ancient entities exist, bound to land in secrecy, then the age of constant surveillance may not expose them. It may awaken them. As reports multiplied, researchers and independent analysts began comparing footage across platforms. What emerged was not a single creature, nor a consistent form, but behavior. Movement patterns that suggested intent rather than instinct. Paths that avoided obstacles with unnatural precision. Stops and starts that aligned with drone repositioning, as if the entity below understood it was being tracked from above. This behavior challenges everything we expect from wildlife. Predators do not test observers. Animals do not circle back towards surveillance equipment. Yet, in multiple recordings, the tracked figure changes direction once the drone locks focus, approaching directly beneath it, then vanishing into terrain where no cover exists. Some footage shows shadows without bodies, movement without mass. Others capture abrupt transitions, a quadruped silhouette lifting into a bipedal posture before the feed cuts. Skeptics argue compression artifacts, digital tearing, or pareidolia. But these explanations struggle when different camera systems, different firmware, and different operators capture nearly identical anomalies. And then there are the disappearances, not of people, but of data. Several operators reported entire flight logs erased after encounters, memory cards corrupted beyond recovery, timestamps scrambled, GPS coordinates missing. These are not common failures. Aviation authorities reviewing such cases admitted the anomalies did not match known system errors. In some instances, the drones themselves were recovered physically intact, yet their internal data was irreversibly altered. If this were sabotage, it would require proximity. If it were interference, it would require a source. None was found. Among Navajo elders who were cautiously consulted, the response was consistent. Skinwalkers do not hunt randomly. They observe, test, and withdraw. They are said to reveal themselves only when rules are broken, boundaries crossed, or attention becomes intrusive. To them, surveillance may be a form of challenge, and technology does not understand taboo. The modern obsession with capturing everything, mapping everything, and exposing everything may be repeating an ancient mistake. Some knowledge was never meant to be extracted. Some boundaries were not symbolic, but functional. When old stories warned against watching too closely, perhaps they were not speaking metaphorically. There is also the question of why sightings have increased now. Drones are louder than spirits, brighter than moonlight, and persistent. They hover where humans once feared to tread. They enter canyons, forests, and sacred land without permission. If skinwalkers exist as protectors, parasites, or predators, this intrusion may explain the escalation. What is most unsettling is not what has been seen, but what has reacted. In several cases, after anomalous encounters, nearby communities reported strange activity, livestock behaving erratically, dogs refusing to leave porches, unexplained sounds at night. Not immediately, but days later, as if something followed the observation back home. Correlation does not mean causation, but patterns demand attention. The digital age has given humanity the illusion of dominance over darkness. Satellites see the Earth. Algorithms predict behavior. Cameras capture what eyes cannot. Yet every system has blind spots. Every network has silence. And it is within that silence that these legends still breathe. Skinwalkers were never monsters meant to be proven. They were warnings about power, about arrogance, about crossing lines without understanding the consequences. So now the question is no longer whether drones are capturing skinwalkers. The real question is whether something ancient is learning how to deal with machines. Because if entities born in myth can adapt to surveillance, then technology is no longer a shield. It is an invitation. And if the watchers are now being watched back, then perhaps the legends were not about fear at all. Perhaps they were instructions for survival. The sky sees everything now, but the ground remembers.
Did you like this mystery? And what is your theory? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed it, then like and share. I'm Merc, and I'll be waiting for you in the next mystery.